our topic for today will be all about diluted earnings per share. But I suggest before you watch this video, panoorin mo muna yung discussion natin about basic earnings per share. Okay? So kapag sinabi nating diluted earnings per share, see to it that this is still the amount per share attributable to each ordinary shareholders. Ibig sabihin, right, dun sa net income or net loss na kinita or na-incur natin for the year, kailangan mo kasi yung i-allocate sa ordinary shareholders natin eh. So, yun yung tinatawag natin na earnings per share. Pero dito, natawag siyang diluted earnings per share because we consider what? We consider potential ordinary shares. Again, we consider the potential ordinary shares in the computation. So, ano nga ba ulit itong mga potential ordinary shares na to? Meron lang tayong tatlo eh. Ano yung tatlong yun? Well, apat. Sige, lagyan natin yung pang-apat. Ano yung una? Yung una is yung tinatawag natin na convertible preference shares. Pangalawa is yung tinatawag natin na convertible bonds payable. Next is yung tinatawag natin na options and warrants. Okay? Then last but not the least is yung tinatawag natin na contingent ordinary shares. Okay? So, ngayon ganito. Before ko i-explain kung paano ba i-compute yung diluted earnings per share, reviewan lang muna natin, no? Kung paano ba kino-compute yung basic earnings per share natin. So, always remember that basic earnings per share is equal to the net income. Again, this is equal to the net income minus the preference share dividend divided by what? Divided by the weighted average number of ordinary shares or yung tinatawag nating WANOS. Liwanag ba? So, ngayon ganito. Dito, meron tayong dalawang senaryo eh. Again, we have two scenarios. Sir, ano yung dalawang scenarios na to? Scenario number 1 is that the effect of potential ordinary shares are dilutive, right? And then, the next scenario or the second scenario is that their effect is actually anti-dilutive. Okay? So, anong pinagkaiba ng dilutive sa anti-dilutive? Kapag sinabi nating dilutive, yung effect ng potential ordinary shares, see to it here that the basic earnings per share is actually what? Is actually higher than the dilutive earnings per share. And then apparently, if basic loss per share naman ang pinag-uusapan, see to it that it must be lower than the diluted loss per share. Anti-dilutive naman ang effect nila if and only if the basic earnings per share is actually lower or equal to the diluted earnings per share, and then apparently the basic loss per share is actually higher or lower than the diluted loss per share. Liwanag ba? So sir, bakit kailangan malaman if dilutive or anti-dilutive? Because if dilutive yan, dito kino-consider natin yan. So considered to Ibig sabihin, kailangan nating isama sa computation, pero kapag anti-dilutive kasi, ini-ignore lang po yan. So ignored for dilutive earnings per share computation. Liwanag ba? So ngayon, ganito. Meron tayong tinatawag na test for dilution. Again, we have test for dilution. Maliwanag ba? So, sir, how do we test, right, these potential ordinary shares, whether they are dilutive or anti-dilutive? Well, madali lang yan. Start tayo sa preference shares at sa bonds payable, no? So, kapag meron tayong preference shares or bonds payable, unang siguraduhin mo muna, unang bagay na kailangan mong siguraduhin is that dapat convertible yung mga yan. Ibig sabihin, dapat kaya silang ma-convert into ordinary shares. So, kapag binigyan ka ng problem, no, wherein sabi niya may preference share tayo or meron tayong bonds payable pero walang sinasabi ang problem whether convertible or hindi, ang assumption is hindi sila convertible. Maliwanag ba? Huwag kang assuming because madalas dyan tayo nagkakamali eh. Kapag dilutive earnings per share, sanay ka na lagi silang convertible. Then bigla binigyan ka ng problem na hindi naman pala sila convertible pero tinreat mo pa rin as convertible. So doon na tayo malalagot. Maliwanag ba? So dito, para malaman yung test na tinatawag, see to it na kailangan mo lang what? Kailangan mo lang i-divide yung increments sa denominator. So increments no sa denominator, which is yung net income minus preference share dividend natin. Kapag sinabi natin increments, by the way, yun yung increase sa denominator And then di-divide natin yan sa increments natin saan? Sa denominator. Ano ba denominator natin? Denominator natin is yung WANOS or the weighted average number of shares. Ano ba? So ngayon ganito. If yung test na nakocompute natin dito, once again, if yung test na nakocompute mo dyan is actually lower, no? Doon sa basic earnings per share, considered na yung effect nila is actually dilutive. Pero, kapag nag-test ka, no, and then yung na-compute mo dyan is mas mataas or equal, no, sa basic earnings per share, their effect is what? Their effect is anti-dilutive. So, ang ibig sabihin dito, before mo sila i-consider for dilutive earnings per share computation, i-test mo muna. Because anti-dilutive earnings per share, once again, are just ignored. So, magpapagod ka lang kapag tinest mo pa sila eh. I mean, kinonsider mo pa eh. Okay? Now, punta tayo dun sa pangatlo. Ano yung pangatlo? Pangatlo is yung tinatawag natin na share options at saka yung mga share warrants. So, dito sa share options and warrants, see to it na kakaiba yung pagtitest natin. So, dito dalawang bagay ang kino-compare natin. Ano yung dalawang bagay na kailangan i-compare? Kailangan natin i-compare yung market value of shares at saka yung what? At saka yung tinatawag natin na option price or yung exercise price. Okay? So, if the market value of shares, no, is higher than the option price, see to it that their effect is actually what? Is actually dilutive. So, nagiging anti-dilutive sila kapag yung option price is mas malaki or equal sa market value of shares. And once again, anti-dilutive potential ordinary shares are just ignored. Ano ba? Then last but not the least, meron tayong tinatawag na contingent ordinary shares. Kapag sinabi natin contingent ordinary shares, these are the shares na may kasamang contingency. Ibig sabihin, before ma-issue yung share na yan, contingent pa siya sa outcome ng isang future event. Let's say, sasabihin ng problem, no? Sige, mag-i-issue tayo ng 5,000 additional shares if makapag-open tayo ng bagong store or if ma-attain natin or ma-achieve natin itong net income na to. So, kapag meron tayong mga contingent shares or ordinary shares, see to it na kasama sila sa book value per share at sa diluted earnings per share computation. The only difference lies sa kung kailan mo sila isasama. Okay? So, sa basic earnings per share, isasama sila kailan? Isasama sila doon sa date na wherein na-fulfill na or na-meet na yung condition. Pero kapag diluted earnings per share naman ang pinag-uusapan, isasama mo lang sila kailan? Isasama mo lang sila right, kapag naibigay na talaga or entitled na talaga yung mga sabihin na nating beneficiary, whether the employees man yan or kung sino man, doon sa ordinary shares na yon. Ibig sabihin, kapag basic earnings per share, kailangan mong siguraduhin na na-meet or na-fulfill na yung contingency. Pero kapag diluted, no need for that. Ano ba? Then last but not the least, before tayo pumunta sa mga problems, see to it na possible sa isang problem, meron tayong more than one or sabihin na natin 2 or more, no? Nalagay ko dito 2 or more potential ordinary shares. So kapag meron tayong 2 or more potential ordinary shares, ano yung mga steps na kailangan nating sundan? Okay? So step number 1, once again, step number 1 is test mo muna for dilution. So test for dilution. Okay? So, dito sa testing for dilution, see to it na required i-compute yung basic earnings per share. Because paano ka magtitest kung hindi mo alam kung mag-ilan ba or magkano yung basic earnings per share mo. Next, okay, i-rank mo yung mga potential ordinary shares. So, rank potential ordinary shares. So, sino yung rank 1 natin? Rank 1 natin, once again, no, highest rank or highest priority. Lagay na lang natin rank is the potential ordinary shares with what? With the lowest, right, effect or lowest test to the basic earnings per share. What do I mean by that? Well, ang ibig kong sabihin dyan is that, okay, palitan natin to. Sabihin na natin pinakamababa or lowest test. Lowest answer dun sa test natin. Okay, kanina. Nag-test tayo kanina eh. Ang ibig sabihin nito, pababaan sila dito sa testing or test for dilution. Okay? So, dito sa ranking, see to it na always number 1. Si options at saka si warrants. Again, warrants at saka si options, lagi silang number 1 if dilutive. Again, lagi silang number 1 if dilutive. Sir, bakit lagi silang number 1 if dilutive? Lagi silang number 1 if dilutive because the increments in the numerator is 0 while the increments in the denominator is not 0. So, 0 divided by a number will still be equal to 0. So, sila talaga yung pinakamababa. Okay? Then, number 2 and then number 3 natin will be the share, preference shares or the bonds payable. So, dito sa preference shares and bonds payable, kailangan mo pang malaman kung sino ba yung kailangan mong unahin sa kanila. Sir, bakit kailangan pa kasi silang i-rank? kailangan mo pa silang i-rank because if after mong kinonsider yung highest rank or yung sumunod dun sa number 1 na yon, kailangan i-test mo or tinetest mo sila palagi for dilution. So, what do you mean by that? Sige, magkaroon tayo ng example. Basic earnings per share, 10 piso. Nung tinest natin, no, yung mga, itong tatlong potential ordinary share natin, let's say, sabihin natin share warrants yung una, bonds payable yung pangalawa, and then, preference shares yung pangatlo. Dilutive si share options. Si bonds payable dilutive kasi ang na-compute mo is 7. Then, dilutive din si preference share kasi ang na-compute mo is 9. So, ngayon ganito. If after mong kinonsider, no, yung share options, ang na-compute mong diluted earnings per share is equal to 9, see to it na dilutive pa rin yung bonds payable. So, continue ka pa. So, if after mong kinonsider yung bonds payable, ang na-compute mo na lang is sabihin natin 8.5, see to it na magiging anti-dilutive na itong preference shares even though at the beginning, dilutive talaga siya. Sir, bakit siya naging anti-dilutive bigla? Kasi nga, after considering the first two, okay na yung 8.5. Mas mataas na yung 9. So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo na kailangan i-consider ngayon itong sa preference share. That is why it is so important for us to rank first these potential ordinary shares. Okay? So, para mas magets natin yan, punta tayo sa mga problems, no? We'll start here in illustrative problem number 1. So, here in illustrative problem number 1, at December 31, 2029, Pepper Corporation had 4 million ordinary shares outstanding. On January 1, 2030, Pepper issued 1 million preference shares which were convertible, no, into 2 million ordinary shares. During 2030, Pepper dapat yan, okay? Pepper declared and paid 2.5 million cash dividend on the ordinary shares, pero irrelevant yun because ang relevant lang sa computation natin is yung dividend ng mga preference shares, okay? And 1 million cash dividend on the preference shares, so yun yung kailangan natin. Net income for the year ended December 31, 2020 was 10 million, then income tax rate is 30%. So here, how much is the basic and the diluted earnings per share for the year ended December 31, 2030? So basic earnings per share muna tayo, ha. Basic earnings per share is equal to the net income of 10 million minus yung preference share dividend which is 1 million, okay? Divided by, of course, the 4 million outstanding ordinary shares. So magkano sagot natin dito? Sagot natin is 9 million divided by 4 million, or this is equal to how much? Sige nga, calculator, 9 million divided by 4 million, or 9 million divided by 4 million, or this is equal to 2.25. Paanag ba? Ngayon, test natin for dilution itong potential ordinary shares na to. Okay? So, dito sa test natin, magkano yung increment sa numerator? Yun yung 1 million because ang assumption natin dito sa diluted earnings per share as if na-convert na sila into ordinary. So, as if na-convert na sila into ordinary, as if wala ng preference share, so wala na dapat tayong ibawas sa numerator. Okay? Then, sa denominator, convertible daw yan into 2,000 or 2 million ordinary shares. So, 2 million ng increment sa denominator. So, ang makukompute mo dito is 0.5. And obviously, this is dilutive kasi sobrang layo naman niya sa 2.25, di ba? So, consider natin ngayon yan. So, diluted earnings per share now will be how much? This will be equal to 9 million, okay? Divided by 4 million. Pero, idagdag natin or consider natin yung mga increments. Sa numerator, 1 million ang increment. Sa denominator, 2 million ang increment. Okay? So, this is equal to 10 million divided by 6 million ordinary shares, or magkanong nakukompute dito? 10 million divided by 6 million, or this is equal to 1.67. Okay? So, basic earnings per share is 2.25, and then diluted earnings per share is 1.67. So, that's illustrative problem number 1. Okay? Now, let's move on here in illustrative problem number 2. Here in illustrative problem number 2, see to it na options po ito or warrants. So, dito, kapag meron tayong options or warrants, ang ginagamit natin is what? Ang ginagamit natin will be the treasury share method. Again, meron tayong tinatawag na treasury share method. So, sir, ano po ba yung treasury share method na yan? Well, kapag sinabi nating treasury share method, see to it dito na ina-assume natin na lahat ng warrants or options are what? Are issued at the exercise price and then subsequently reacquired at the market value. Okay? So dito, Kai Company provides the following data for the entire year. Profit daw is 10 million. Ordinary share capital is 100 par, 4 million shares or that's equal to 40 million. Options and warrants outstanding during the year are as follows. Once again here, under the treasury share method, ina-assume natin na lahat ng options may exercise. So multiply natin yan no, sa exercise price which is 200. So magkano yung proceeds na marireceive natin dito? We have proceeds equal no to 8 million pesos. Ngayon, itong proceeds na to or total consideration na to, gagamitin natin pang bili ng treasury shares at the average market price or at 250 pesos. Okay? So, magkano ngayon or ilang ngayon yung number of treasury shares natin? Assume lang to So, 8 million divided by 250, that's equal to 32,000 shares. Okay? Once again, kunwari lang na na-issue at kunwari lang din na bumili tayo ng treasury shares. So, kapag nag-issue tayo no, ng 40,000 shares and then bumili tayo ng 32,000 ordinary shares, meron ngayon tayong tinatawag na free shares. Ito yung increment natin sa denominator. Kasi sa numerator, wala naman tayong increment wala namang madadagdag. So, free shares ngayon natin is 40 minus 32 or that's 8,000 shares. Okay? So, compute na natin magkano yung dilutive earnings per share. So, dilutive earnings per share will be equal to the profit which is equal to 10 million divided by, again, 10 million divided by, 400,000 shares plus 8,000, yun yung free shares. Okay? So, magkano to guys? 10 million divided by 408,000 or this is equal to 24.51. So, 24.51 or Bravo will be our final answer. Okay? So, illustrative problem number 2, Bravo will be the final answer. Next, let's move on here in illustrative problem number 3. So, here in illustrative problem number 3, Gracie Incorporated has 220,000 ordinary shares outstanding. 20,000, 6% cumulative. Once again, kapag cumulative, whether declared or not, binabawas yung dividend. 100 par convertible preference shares that are convertible into 40,000 ordinary shares. And then meron din daw tayong 8% 4-year convertible bonds with face value of 2 million that are convertible into 60,000 ordinary shares. The bonds were issued on January 1 when the prevailing interest rate was 10% and the net income for the year is 850,000. Income tax rate is 32% and the requirement is to compute the basic and the diluted earnings per share. Okay? So let's start with the computation of basic earnings per share. So basic earnings per share is equal to the net income of 850,000. So see to it kapag net income nang given, it is assumed na after tax na yan. Deduct natin dito yung preference share dividend. Magkano kaya yon? That's equal to 20,000 preference shares times 6%, then times the par value of 100 kasi 20,000 ang outstanding, 6% ang dividend rate, and then 100 ang par value. Okay? So 20,000 times 0.06 times 100, this is equal to 120,000 divided by the outstanding shares for the year, which is equal to 220,000 ordinary shares. Okay? So, magkano nako-compute natin dito? 850 minus 120 divided by 220 or this is equal to 3.32. Again, ang nako-compute natin dito will be 3.32. Okay? Ngayon, mag-test muna tayo for dilution. So, test for dilution. Okay? So, yung bonds payable dito at yung preference shares, pareho silang potential kasi pareho silang convertible. So, preference shares muna tayo. So, dito sa preference shares, magkano yung increment sa numerator? 120 yon. Na-compute na natin kanina. Sa denominator naman, convertible daw yan into 40,000. So, 40,000 ang ating increment sa denominator. So, magkano to? 120,000 divided by 40,000, this is equal to 3. So, initially, dilutive pa ang effect. Again, dilutive pa yung effect. Ngayon, punta tayo sa bonds payable. But before that, i-compute muna natin magkano ba yung present value on January 1. Okay? So, meron tayong principal and then interest. Principal is equal to the 2 million face amount. Then, interest is 2 million times 8%. Again, 2 million times 8%. Magkano yung interest payment natin annually? 2 million times 8%. That's equal to 160,000. So, 160,000 ilalagay natin dito, ha. Next, i-multiply natin to saan? I-multiply natin yan sa present value factor, syempre. Okay? So, marunong naman tayo mag-compute ng present value factor, no? If hindi ka marunong, panoorin mo yung discussion natin about sa present value factor computation dito sa channel din na to. Okay? So, lagay natin 1.1 divided by equals 4-year po ito. So, 4 periods, no? 1, 2, 3, 4. Present value of 1 using 10% for 4 periods will be equal to 0.683. And then, present value of ordinary annuity of 1 for 4 periods using 10% pa rin is 3.1699. Okay? So, 2 million now times 0.683. This is equal to 1,366,000. Then, 160,000 times 3.1699. This is equal to 507,184. Okay? So, the carrying amount now of the bonds as of January 1 is magkano? This is equal to 1366 plus 507,184, or this is equal to 1,873,184. Okay? So, magkano ngayon yung increments natin sa numerator? Obviously, that's 1,873,184 times effective rate kasi ang interest expense, nako-compute yan by multiplying the carrying amount by to the effective rate, no? So, effective rate is 10%, so times 10%, and then dapat after tax kasi ang interest, part po siya sa net income computation, not unlike yung dividend sa preference share, hindi naman yun part ng net income computation. That is why hindi siya subject sa income taxation. Ang interest kasi, subject yan sa income taxation, eh. So, times natin to saan? Sa 68% kasi 32% daw yung ating income tax rate. Okay? So, 1,873,184 times 0.1 times 0.68. Increment in the numerator will be 127,377. Then, increment in the denominator is equal to 60,000 shares kasi convertible daw yan into 60,000 shares. So, divided by 60,000, this will give us 2.12. So, ang ibig sabihin, dilutive din siya. And actually, siya yung priority natin kasi mas mababa yung na-compute natin dito. Okay? So, lagay ngayon natin dito net income. Then, lalagay ko dito WANOS. And then, last column will be the earnings per share. Okay? So, lalagay ko muna dito basic, no? Magkano ka ulit yung sa basic natin? 850 minus 120, 730 ang numerator natin. Then, WANOS natin is 220. That's why ang na-compute natin kanina is 3.32. So, rank 1, yung bonds payable kasi mas mababa yung na-compute natin, no? Increment in the numerator is 127,377. WANOS or increment in the denominator is 60,000. Okay? So, magkano yung total natin? 730,000 plus 127,377. That's actually equal to 857,377. Then, total WANOS natin is 280,000, no? So, magkano yung diluted earnings per share natin so far? Diluted earnings per share is equal to 3.06. Okay? Ito yung tinatawag natin na interim. Again, ito yung tinatawag natin na interim diluted earnings per share kasi hindi pa tayo tapos, kaya interim pa lang. Okay? So, dito dilutive pa ba si preference share? Yes, dilutive pa rin kasi mas mababa pa rin yung 3 piso. But just in case na ang na-compute mo dito is 2.5 na lang, anti-dilutive na yung PS, so mag-i-stop ka na yan. Gets? Pero since mas mababa pa yung test mo, consider mo pa siya, dilutive pa yan. So, 120 ang increment sa net income, 40,000 naman sa WANOS. Okay? So, magkano ngayon yung total? 857,377 plus 120,000. This is equal to 977,377. We good? And then, 320,000 yung WANOS natin. So, ang ibig sabihin, dilutive earnings per share natin will be equal to 3.05. So, 3.05 now will be the dilutive earnings per share. So, final answer here in illustrative problem number 3 is 3.32 for the basic, then 3.35 for 3.05 rather for the diluted earnings per share. Okay? Now, punta tayo dito sa illustrative problem number 4. So, here, same lang to ng illustrative problem number 3, no? So, mabilis lang to. Ano meron dito? Ket companies capital structure was as follows. Ordinary, meron tayong 1 million all throughout the 2-year period. Convertible, ganun din, 100,000 daw. Then, meron din tayong 10% convertible bonds payable. So during 2030, CAT paid dividends of 15 per share on its preference shares. The preference shares are convertible into 150,000 ordinary shares and the 10% are convertible into 300,000 ordinary shares. Profit was 10 million for the year 2030 and then the income tax rate is 35%. So the requirement here is the diluted earnings per share for 2030. So basic earnings per share muna ulit tayo. Basic earnings per share is equal to the net income of 10 million minus the preference share dividend. Magkano yan? We have 100,000 preference shares times 15. So 100,000 times 15, this is equal to 1.5 million. Siyempre, i-divide natin yan sa 1 million outstanding ordinary shares, no? So 8.5 million ang ating numerator. Di-divide yan sa denominator na 1 million or this will give us 8.5. Liwanag ba? So basic earnings per share is 8.5. Ngayon, test tayo for dilution, no? Test for dilution. Okay? So, dito sa test natin for dilution, start tayo sa preference shares. Magkano yung increment sa numerator? That's 1.5 million because if i-assume natin na na-issue na itong mga to or na-convert na, wala na tayong ibabawas na 1.5 na dividend. Divided by sa 150,000, bakit? Kasi yung mga preference shares, convertible daw sila into 150,000 ordinary shares. Are we good? So, ang ibig ngayon sabihin dito, ang nako-compute is magkano? 1.5 million divided by 150,000 or ang nako-compute is 10. Ibig sabihin, anti-dilutive. Again, anti-dilutive yung preference shares natin. Ibig sabihin, ignored lang po yan. Kasi dapat dilutive bago mo i-consider. Okay? Sa bonds payable naman, meron tayong magkano? Well, for the interest expense, that's equal to 30 million times 10% kasi wala namang given na ibang effective, no? Then times 65%. So, 30 million times 0.1 times 0.65 or this is equal to 1,950,000 divided by 300,000 shares kasi yung mga bonds daw convertible into 300,000 shares. So, 1,950 divided by 300,000, ang nako-compute dito is 6.5. And obviously, dilutive ito, so i-consider natin. Liwanag ba? So, the diluted earnings per share now will be equal, no, to 8.5 million divided by 1 million. Yun yung basic earnings per share natin. Kaso, i-add natin yung increment sa bonds. 1,950 yung madadagdag sa numerator, then sa denominator naman, 300,000. Okay? So, 8.5 plus 1,950. Ito yung numerator natin. Equal yun sa 10,450. Then, denominator is 1.3 million. So, the diluted earnings per share now is magkano? Diluted earnings per share will now be equal to 8.04. So, 8.04 will be our final answer here in illustrative problem number 4. Liwanag ba yun? Now, punta tayo sa last problem. Ito yung loss per share, no? Basic loss per share lang. The income statement of Pastel Company shows a net loss of 10 million for the year ended December 31, 2030. The company had shares outstanding as follows. Ordinary share capital, 400,000 shares. Preference share capital cumulative daw, 10%, 100 par, 100,000 shares convertible into 100 ordinary shares. So, ang tinatanong is the basic loss per share. So, pareho lang naman din. So, dito mayroon lang tayong net loss na 10 million. That's why naka-parenthesis. Then, ibabawas mo pa rin yung preference share dividend. Kasi kahit na may net loss, kailangan mo pa rin silang bigyan eh. So, this is equal to 10 million times 10% or ibabawas pa rin natin yung 1 million. Then, i-divide natin yan, no? Sa outstanding shares which is 400,000. So, ingat ka dito, dapat nakalagay yung negative para ang maging numerator mo is negative 11 million, hindi negative 9 million. Okay? Then, divided by 400,000, magkano ngayon yung basic loss per share? Negative 11 million divided by 400,000 or this is equal to negative 27.5. So, basic loss per share now will be choice letter alpha. Okay? So, this will be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting our channel. God bless guys and stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day if umaga ka man nanood. Okay? Bye-bye!